Vernon Robinson, Superintendent of Public Instruction.
Mr. Chairman, delegates and friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Vernon Robinson, and I'm proud to accept your nomination for State Superintendent of Public Instruction because it's high time North Carolina had a superintendent who is going to be an advocate for the parents and taxpayers of this state. If you haven't had a chance, I highly recommend Hillary's new book, It Takes the Government to Raise Your Child. Now, Ronald Reagan warned us about Hillary Clinton. He said there were two threats to our freedom: Soviet communism abroad and big government at home. Well, Bob Dole helped defeat the evil empire, and it's high time we defeated the arrogant empire of big and intrusive government. There's no greater threat than big government than that to our children and grandchildren. You know, we're very proud of keeping the unions out of the manufacturing sector of North Carolina, but while you weren't looking, the largest and most dangerous union in the country, the National Education Association, got control of 90% of our kids. We should have given them the factories and kept our children. Now, you will have the clearest, starkest contrast in the history of this party in the superintendent's race. The left believes parents can't take care of their children, and public schools would be fine if we only had better parents. That's why they support Smart Start and SOS and Goals 2000 and outcome-based education, and they're wrong. Conservatives know that the best social program ever created for children are two parents. Count them. One of one gender, and one of the other gender. Republicans understand that real education reform, to change the incentives to do better for our children, requires recognizing that money is power. We need to take the money from the politicians and bureaucrats who don't even know your grandchild or child's name and give it to the parents so they can choose safe, effective schools consistent with their values that spend money in the classroom. Now, I want you to take 4 words from this convention and repeat them on the radio and in letters to the editor and in talk shows and when you're on the campaign stumps. Republicans want your children to earn more. Well, let's try it again. Republicans want your children to learn more. So as adults, they can earn more. And by removing regulation, litigation, and taxation, they'll be able to keep more so that North Carolinians will be able to do more for family, do more for church, and do more for the community through voluntary association. Now, I've gone around the state saying we can't stay on defense. You know, conservatives spend a lot of time on defense. What I learned at the Air Force Academy is that the best defense is a good airstrike. So we're going on offense, and we're going to fight the education establishment for every house, every block, and every school, because in the final analysis, America's worth fighting for. And in closing, Mr. Chairman, a bunch of folks saw my endorsement in the Wall Street Journal and the National Review and a number of other folks, but those endorsements weren't significant. The most significant endorsement I got in '92 was from Doug. Doug's an hourly worker. He and the rest of the hourly workers are being crushed by the burden of taxes. And they're seeing their money going to people who won't work. In the case of the S&L crisis, rich people who stole. For the first time in the Republic, they're worried that the public schools are not teaching their children enough so they can do better than their parents did. The American dream's going down the tubes. And so I just have one thing to say to Doug and his wife and all the other Dougs in North Carolina, because the Dougs of this state are the future of the Republican Party if we have a future as a majority. And that is, hang in there, buddy. With your help, we can finish the conservative revolution in 1996. Hang in there, Doug. We can defeat the entire corrupt, liberal, failed Democrat Council of State. Hang in there, buddy. We're one election away from putting the power in your hands to get a better school for your child. Hang in there, North Carolina. The cavalry's coming, and it's coming November 5th.